Welcome to Unit 6, Color. So color is one of our organizing principles. Just like line and shape and value, there is a very wide world of color, and we can only see a small variation of all the colors that exist. The science to seeing color is that our eyes have rods and cones, and our cones, we have three specifically that can understand color. The L cones can pick up red, the M cones pick up green, and the S cones pick up blue. So when a light source shines into our eye, these are the mechanisms that tell our brain what colors we see. One of the first to notice this phenomena was Sir Isaac Newton. So Sir Isaac Newton noticed that light shined through a prism would be diffracted or broken apart and reveal different colors that light was possessing. As artists and designers, we work within color systems. There are two specific color systems I wanted to introduce you to, and one you may be familiar with and one may be new, and that is the Itten color system and the Munsell color system. The Itten color system describes three primary colors, three secondary colors, and a host of tertiary colors. Now, this is really great when you're just defining what a color is, but when you want to talk about all the dimensions that exist within color, this system doesn't really provide the space for that. Albert Henry Munsell decided not only is there just the hue of the color, but there are also light and dark and more saturated and desaturated hues within each color. So he broke color into three dimensions: hue, which is the hue like we saw in the Itten system, red, yellow, blue, but also the value, how light or how dark the hue, and then the chroma, how much gray or how little gray is added to the hue. For our understanding of color, we're going to stick to the Itten system, but just have the Munsell system in the back of our minds. Let's take a look at the color wheel. As I mentioned earlier, within the color wheel, there are three primary colors, and they include red, yellow, and blue. Those are our primary colors. Our secondary colors are green, orange, and violet. So when I use the word color, I might also use the word hue, but I'm referring to the same idea. Now there are tertiary colors, and tertiary colors are red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet, and red, violet. Now, under this theory of primary, secondary, tertiary colors, red, yellow, and blue are colors that cannot be mixed. But every other color comes from mixing the red, yellow, and blue. And that gives us the entire color wheel. When you take one hue or color and you add white, it is called a tint. When you add gray, it is called a tone. And when you add black, it is called a shade. Tints, tones, and shades are what's responsible for giving us the illusion of depth within two-dimensional spaces. Now, these colors do exist, but they also form somewhat specific relationships between each other. So let's take a look at color relationships. The first color relationship I wanted to talk about, also sometimes color relationships are called color harmonies. So the first color harmony that we're going to talk about is a warm to cool harmony. So warm colors are colors that are next to each other, that are warmer, and they reference ideas like sunlight, sunshine, and warmth. And then the cool colors are colors on the opposite side of the color wheel: green, blue, purples, that remind you of ideas like January or snow. The second color relationship is a really important one. It is a complementary color harmony. So a complementary color harmony are two colors on opposite sides of the color wheel. They form the most contrast between color. If you mix them together, you'll actually cancel out the other color and get a muted or gray tone. However, placed next to each other actually form really interesting bonds. And there are lots of color harmonies that represent seasons. Red and green for December, or yellow and purple for spring, or orange and blue for summer. The next color relationship is a triad. Triads are 3 colors equal steps apart on the color wheel. Examples are red, blue, and yellow, and violet, orange, and green. This color harmony of red, yellow, and blue was first utilized and really explored by an artist. And then that artist's compositions and how he organized yellow, red, and blue was so significant that it lasted throughout fashion and marketing and designing for a very long time. The artist's name is Mondrian. And here is an example of fashion that was really inspired by Mondrian's paintings. The split Y color harmony. This is 3 colors that include a base hue and the 2 colors on each side of the complementary. So in this image I have of the New Yorker, you can see the red, the green, and the blue present in very high saturation, really bright, and those 3 colors together form a split Y color harmony. When you're mixing color, you have to be really aware of these color relationships. When mixing cool colors together, you want to think about what side of the color wheel that they exist on. So when you're mixing paint, the cool color mixing primary set is ultramarine, crimson, and lemon yellow. For the warm mixing color primary, it's cerulean blue, cadmium yellow, and cadmium red. So if you look at the chart in the image, the cadmium has a little bit of orange in it, which means if you were to mix it to try to make a purple, like if you mix the cadmium red with the ultramarine blue, you would cancel it out because you're forming almost or near complements. So be really aware when you're mixing paint, whether or not you have a cool yellow or a warm yellow, or a cool red or a warm red, or a cool blue or a warm blue. Let's talk a little bit about what happens when you mix complements together. When you mix complements together, or you mix a little bit of a color or hue into gray, you get chromatic grays, muted tones, or near neutrals. A lot of people would look at these colors and maybe say, oh, well, they're not very nice colors. However, if we go back to understanding how the human eye sees light, those cones I talked about, the L cones, M cones, and S cones that pick up color, with very bright, vibrant colors, these cones get burnt out really quickly and will actually automatically mute the color that you see. So as artists and designers, it's a really good idea to explore the muted grays, chromatic grays, and near neutrals in your work, because it means the viewer will be able to view your work for a longer period of time without burning out the cones in their eyes. Let's talk about additive and subtractive color. Additive color sources start without light. Light sources are then added to create the color you see. This is the way computer screens, televisions, and even your cell phone works. They work in a color system which understands 3 colors, red, blue, and green, similar to our eyes. And adding light creates the actual color that you see. In a subtractive color system, the subtractive colors start with light. The pigment or the dye is added to a surface, and light reflects the color back into a viewer. The color system that works with subtractive color is CMYK. If you're printing something out of a digital space, it will need to have a CMYK color mode. C standing for cyan, M for magenta, Y for yellow, and K for black. Now, we talked about these color relationships, but if there's nothing else I want you to understand about color, is that it's culturally defined. So what does that mean? That means depending on where you are in the world, each color will have a different meaning. That meaning does not necessarily extend from one culture to the next. That means that what you wear to a wedding in one place, you might wear to a funeral in another. Color is also defined by the pigments that your specific ancestors had access to. So if I take a photo in Norway, the colors may still be green and blue. However, if I take a photo in Hawaii, the types of blue and the types of green may shift and change. So color is composed of these invisible systems. So these systems can be determined by age or necessity or location. But as you look around, see if you can notice all of the color relationship between the objects that you enjoy spending time with. So this invisible system impacts so many areas of our world that understanding who makes and who decides what colors exist in our world is really important. So what I would like for you to do is pause the video and respond to these 5 questions. You're going to respond in your notes. So the first question is, what are your favorite 3 colors? What is the oldest or your favorite memory of your favorite colors? How often do you purchase or enjoy objects that include your favorite colors? And then I want you to Google search the meaning of your favorite colors. And the last one, do you agree with the meaning of your 3 colors? And why or why not? So if one of your 3 colors is white, black, or gray, go ahead and select one more color to explore.